and welcome to Injury Time. I am Sandeep Menon, that is Abdesh Mina, and the one below is Orko. Welcome, guys. Thanks for doing this. I know we're a little late, but thanks for doing this.
Happy to do it.
Yes,
Yes, thank
Orko,
you.
come on, man. And I'm giving you a chance to thank me back for having you.
Thanks for
But
having us. Thanks for having us, Sandeep. I mean, if Naveen was there, he wouldn't have. He would have given a more bombastic introduction. That's what Naveen like.
See, we keep it simple here when Navay is not
Mm.
here. So, and we'll start with one of the players who kept it simple and who was one of the best strikers in recent years for Indian football. He announced his retirement today. Uh, I think, I think we all saw this sort of coming, but it still feels there's a pang in the heart when when Jeje Lalpekhlua decides to hang up his boots. I'll come to you, Orko, first. Memories. What he is probably the super striker that was there. I know Sunil was there, but he was nine who played there for the long time.
Yeah. So, I was going to make this interesting observation that the peak of our interest in Indian football coincided with JJ's
JJ.
career
Yeah.
only. So, in a way, it feels like I've become old. Like JJ announcing his retirement means I've officially become old because I remember when Baichung retired, there was this kind of vacuum, right? We can call Sunil a striker, but Sunil's played left wing, number 10. He's played multiple positions for the Indian national team. The Indian team was crying out for somebody who could play a number 9, right? And Sunil and JJ had this small man, big man chemistry, even though both were, sorry to use the word, small, literally, yeah, like smaller than the Indian average
Yes.
striker, let's say, right? And JJ was the big man. JJ was the target man in that,
Mm.
right? And Sunil would run through onto the second balls. It tells you a lot about JJ himself, right? So there are a few observations I want to make about JJ. Just bear with me. One thing is that JJ was probably the first Indian striker in the ISL era to cement his place, right?
Yes.
And win two titles. Yes, there was Mendoza also. Sometimes they played two top, yes, but still, JJ was the first to cement his place as an Indian striker in the ISL.
I
Right?
think
And
you can still say to this day he's the only one who cemented his place.
only one who
Yeah.
cemented his place. Even like Sunil, like we said, keeps getting shunted out to the left wing
Hmm.
at times, right? That's number one. Point number two, I think JJ also holds the I think Indian record for most number of consecutive national team games scored in. I think that record is JJ's, if I'm not mistaken. Right? That is two. I think, and yeah, like we said, after Baichung, the what do you say, the number 9 who took over, right? The striker who took over from Baichung, right? And I think you tweeted out saying he never got his due. I mean,
Hmm.
100% agree with that. I mean, phenomenal player, right? And for the style of football we play, Indian football plays, I think, like, I mean, the perfect
Mm.
foil for Sunil, right? Yeah, and I mean, somebody who broke out in 2008, 9, and 2023. So it definitely feels like, Indian football's completed an entire arc with JJ's introduction and now retirement.
And to be fair to JJ, that we often talk about the under 16 team who did well. He was one of the only players from that batch who went on to do a similar sort of performance and
Yeah.
who lived up to the hype. And I really liked him too. I always have this memory of that goal. I think against Kyrgyzstan where Chetri ran from the half
Yeah.
line. He gets a lot of credit. Chetri obviously deserves all the credit that to get that ball all the way there. But JJ showed what JJ is all about as a striker. It's not his goals, but it's what he does as a striker as well. To get that chipped
Yeah.
pass at the right pace so that Sunil does not have to break his stride. He can
Hmm.
just hit it first time. So that's an overriding memory I have of him. There are some
Yeah.
Mohan Bagan images also, but this one always sticks to my mind. What about you, Abhi? End of an era from a state like Quad said in this tweet that is now producing a lot of superstar players. He's probably the
Exactly.
first superstar.
Yeah.
No,
Act.
Silo Mama.
Ha.
Yeah,
Not
he
the
Silo
is
Mama.
first.
a superstar. Silo Mama, a lot of people still don't know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
JJ
In
is
in Mizoram, Shiloh Mama is
absolutely, yeah. But I was talking generally in India.
Pan India
He was a
is what I
pathbreaker,
think.
like Mama.
Yeah, pathbreaker, I would definitely say, in the sense, like the amount of players that came after him and the amount of role that he played in that state for it to eventually start, having these many players. And of course, even right now, he does hold quite a bit of sway there. So yeah, in that sense, yes. And what I think, why we when we talk about JJ, we have so much fondness, is I think he just had very good energy on the field. I think the kind of places that he found himself in, the kind of runs that he made in the final third, I think that, like Orko mentioned, I think that itself built the entire chemistry that he and Chetri had, and
mm,
got both of them that success. Well, I think what worked for JJ was that, even like, he was clinical, be it with passes or getting those goals. Okay. Getting those goals, or making those crucial passes. I just think he was very clinical, and that's something that we always talk about right now, that we're like seriously missing in terms of consistent people being consistently clinical. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just it's a big day for Indian football, and I think we're all, even though I mean, we haven't seen JJ at his best since quite a long, but I mean, it's still, we're still going to miss him
yeah.
for sure.
And I put a tweet out saying I hope to read some profiles of JJ today, and I haven't come
Yeah,
across
that's true.
any.
It's sad
So
actually.
Yeah, actually, the fanfare for him retirement has been very very muted, if at all, which is
Hmm.
kind of sad. But like Abby mentioned, he is not played in I think a couple of years now, or
yeah,
even when he was in and around the team, he hardly played
yeah,
because the knee injury sort of killed it for him. So
yeah.
unfortunate, but let's look at the good times. Wish him all the best for the future, and hopefully, injury time will be the place where he can come and tell his stories. I will definitely reach out. I'll give him some
I
time to
think that will be
come back.
excellent.
The
Mm.
last time I messaged, no response came through. He'll
JJ
try
is a
again.
family man, so he'll probably take some time off
Yeah.
for retirement, and I think that's a lot to with the knee injury also.
Yeah.
Is that I mean that JJ and a lot of these mesos get homesick during
Hmm.
it's a general trend. So maybe when he got injured, I think the first thing JJ did is he took off home. He went home, spent time with his family, didn't really focus on the rehab. But I mean, on the field, he had done as much as he could for Indian football. When a Indian football strikers essentially lifespan is about 3 or 4 years, right? And JJ certainly outdid that average. So, and we know that this is like all of the strikers that start with JJ, right? They went into oblivion, barring Sunil and JJ. Everyone else, like
Yeah.
nobody knows any of those people now, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so Balwant Singh, yes, one I remember, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Manveer now for a while.
huh. But Manvi, like I said, I mean,
Manveer.
with all due respect to the Manvirs and the Panditas of this world, they don't
Oh,
have a
What
they're
is
not
this
a patch on
comparison?
JJ. I'm just
they're not.
saying,
They're not.
lifespan wise, they're all having
Huh.
a decent
I
lifespan.
mean, it's just the lifespan wise. It's just lifespan. I mean, what JJ's done,
Did
right?
JJ not finish top scorer in ISL one time or
Yes,
somewhere close? I think he did.
he's only one, I think. No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I got in double figures. Something and all happened. He was, yeah. I mean, anyway,
The Mizo
Priyan's
sniper. Yeah,
absolutely right. No?
Yeah,
Let's try
Mizo
to.
sniper.
the Mizo sniper. I mean, and I was very sad today. I was also thinking about the Kyrgyzstan goal, coincidentally,
Hmm.
right? Great
Were you
minds.
there? I was there. Were you there?
I was there. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
there.
That's why. That's
I
why
was
we
there.
remember.
I remember the chip pass. It was cheeky, and I thought JJ. I'm watching a lot of Blue Lock, so I think JJ finished like a true egoist. Like he like yeah, what is a striker's job if not to score goals? So JJ took it upon himself, like at times, and I loved it. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
so I was just very sad. the first generation of Mizo superheroes has now retired. Chauntia, Didika, JJ. I was just thinking of this, and I was like, the states come like full circle, right? From just
Yeah.
sprouting these players, and JJ started at a tournament which I'm not sure is still played. It's a very delightfully named YY Cup in Mizoram. Right, Abby's eyes lit up as I said, "Why? She's like, ah, noodles." She's like, ah, noodles.
I love it. I love bye.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, it just feels like Mizoram and Indian football both come a entire circle, and hopefully, all of these guys that I mentioned, their work will be taken forward by Apuya, Jerry Moya, and all of these other guys.
Yes, absolutely. All the best to you, JJ, going forward. Hopefully, like Priyansh just mentioned here, he can be the answer to the Renedy Singh for us. Huh? So I'll get working on that as well. So moving on now, we'll come to the ISL playoffs. You want to keep it as one of the more interesting fight wala topic. But Orko, I know you wanted to talk something about women's football. So the floor is open to you.
Yeah, I think because there's been a flurry of women's football being played,
Yeah.
and we have a resident expert also today back with us after a long time. Not to
Yes.
shoehorn her, I'm saying she's covered men's football also, but
Mhm.
I mean, Abrish Mina, I mean, probably has covered more women's football than both of us put together. So you know,
Definitely me. For sure.
yeah. So
Not
and,
you, Orko.
okay, I was just being modest, but
Okay, we are all being nice to each other. Let's get to it.
yeah, let's get to
Get
it.
to the
Yeah.
point.
No,
Yeah.
so I was saying, just going by results, India under 20 got knocked out of the SAF under 20 Women's Championship. Uh, they they beat Bhutan 12-0, and there was this, oh, look at this Indian team, and blah, blah, blah. And then, we prepared for Bangladesh. Nepal came straight out of the syllabus,
Hmm.
right? So, and Bangladesh has been a powerhouse, right? For some time now. So we were prepared because we got warmed in the SAF Senior Women's Championship. Uh, and then we lost to Nepal 3-1, right? So in a four-team SAF Women's Championship, 6 months after they played the World Cup, they couldn't qualify to the final of a four-team SAF Women's Championship, right? And just to clear up some any delusions that we may had, right? Because like I said, we are a scoreline culture. We look at Morocco and we say, "Ha, we only lost 3-0," right?
Hmm.
We look at Bhutan, we say, and Bhutan, surprisingly, they didn't do it in the other two matches. They played high line against India, right? And they had stamina of 20 minutes, and they played high line against India, right? So
I think they kind of realized that they can't go ahead with it
they
during
can't,
the India match. Like, nahi ho sakta ye.
uh, and the keeper and the defense had a very huge
Hmm.
gap between them, right? So apart from that, India also drew with Nepal 2-2, right? This is again for those people who said, oh, if not for COVID, they might have qualified to the World Cups, right? And we have to think about it that they drew 0-0 with Iran in Jan, and Iran was statistically the weakest of the 12 teams
Yeah.
that played, and obviously, because they finished last and they considered, I think, 12 goals. So, just having said this, right? I'm just going to bring up something that Memol. I saw it in an interview after the Nepal match where she said that the better team lost, the best team did not. Abrishma, did you catch a glimpse of the matches, and what did you make of it?
You're speaking about the senior team match, India Nepal.
India, Nepal. No, I'm talking about Memol. She was the coach of the India under 20, right?
Yeah, yeah. You're talking about the under 20
Yeah,
team, no?
yeah.
Um,
Mm.
so honestly, again, I would mention the same thing pretty much. I think it's such a repeated conversation that the quality is not up there. We just, we honestly, I just feel we don't really understand even Asian football on the whole, right? Where it is going. We have these harbor these dreams of making it big in the women's game, men's football se pehle women's football kar dega and all of that sort of thing. ठीक है? The like extremely big dreams. But
Hmm.
I think people still do have not grasped where women's game has actually already gone, and we are far behind. We are far
I
behind,
have
and
a
we don't
follow-up
realize.
question. Yeah, let me ask you the follow-up question after you finish. Go on.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, if you honestly, I wasn't surprised because we are not there in terms of quality. We don't have we still in the under 20 level as well. We don't have a very cohesive forward line, right? There are patches when some of those players will do good decently in terms of movement, but as in terms of a cohesive unit, we don't have that. Sorry, but Mamer's tactics for the under 20 team did not work. They were not good. uh, it wasn't adapting to the opposition or to the strengths and weaknesses of her own team. So it was just actually it was very spread around. Like it was बहुत ही फैला हुआ situation with the under 20 team. Uh, Again, Shilki Devi, I think just because she got into the senior team during the Asian Cup, I think people hyped her up a little too much. If you see her in the under 20 games, she was below average, uh, lots of mistakes. She didn't have it, like she didn't have the kind of patience that is required at the position that she plays in, which is central defense. She didn't have that patience at all. She didn't hold out. She was always going for challenges, which is extremely dangerous at that position. You're just leaving your keeper wide open to be exploited. So, and your partner, your central defensive partner, leaving everybody wide open. And I think that played a major role in because people were putting a lot of pressure on her.
I, I,
And she
I-
was
I'll tell you,
going into
I'll
it.
tell you why they're picking her, right? And this is my next question, right? They were picking her because she's a defender that can clear with both feet. That's
Mm.
it.
Yeah,
That is it. Like that is it because if you look at how and I don't know if our viewers know the names, but Shamsun Nahar Jr. of the Bangladesh team,
yeah,
or Amisha Karki from Nepal, how they dealt with her. You should have seen it. Like I get it, she's there, she's big, she's she can clear with both feet, but that's it, right?
that's it. That's it.
Um, and obviously, I think questions should be asked of the three players who supposedly have senior team experience:
Exactly.
Asta Moran, Shilki Devi, and Martina Thakcham.
Also, Sumati.
Uh, yeah, I mean, and pretty much you could look at uh, the for me the only ones that stood out, and surprisingly they did not start all the matches, were Linda Com and Neha.
Yeah,
Uh, I
exactly.
understand that this all of them have a long way to go, but I'm surprised these two, who I consider are the better of the decision makers among the lot, did not start. So my next question is this, Abrish Meena, and I'm also going to give my viewpoint here. My viewpoint is long-term fix. As a lot of people said, grassroots, and yes, grassroots needs work, yes. But what I also know is that in the last 10 years, women's football in India has taken giant steps forward, where you have academies that either put a couple of girls along with boys, or essentially you have entire girls only academies now in some
Mm,
parts of the country, right? So, and I'm not one who's overtly optimistic of Indian football, but I'm going to say this: the quality of Indian players, women players, has definitely gone up in the last decade. But what has not changed, and Sandeep, I'm also going to bring you in on this, vis-a-vis your take on the men's game, is other decision makers, right? Or are the ones who making the selections or scouting,
exactly.
right? I was speaking to somebody who's very heavily involved in women's football at the IWL level, right? He said we are still picking workhorses for 90 minutes, people who can just run up and down. We are not picking the right decision makers,
Mm,
right? From my very basic viewpoint as somebody who's very new to coaching, right, 2 3 years, I think you can build up the endurance, right? You can do that, but you can't work on the decisions, right? You can't work on the decisions. The first thing that AF announced, saying, "Oh, we're looking to getting to work." They said the girls will be back on Feb 10th. We'll have a camp from Feb 10th to the end of April, but a 3 month camp. And this is also a question for you, also, Sandeep. 3 month camp won't turn them into better players overnight. It won't. Even the short term fixes are way off. Are way off, right? Here's what I would have done. I would have probably, and it's your facility, right? You're in Chennai, you're within India, right? I would have called 80 girls, right? Made them play much more among themselves, right? Seen them up close instead of going by what somebody else has told me, right? We've already pointed out the flaws in scouting. So my question to you, Abreshmina, is: do you agree with this? Do you agree that, and that the best, these are not the best players that India can have, and that short term fixes, long term fixes aside, just basic selection, the way it is going about, right? Just choosing pace and endurance FC is not working out anymore.
No, definitely not. See, like you mentioned yourself, I think scouting is a massive, uh, like a big hole here. I don't think scouting is done properly.
No database. No database.
I definitely think we have better players than this in the country. Um, we have seen some of them as well, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's not like we have seen some of them personally. We have seen some of them in the IWL also,
IWL also,
right?
yeah.
If you really want to see, if you really see the IWL and notice the movements and the kind of decisions that every player in
Hmm.
every team is taking,
Hmm.
not just the big teams, in every team is taking, you'll see that there are a few players who are actually good. So the scouting is a
For me,
big
for
problem.
example,
You are only
I'm just
looking at,
gonna I'm just gonna throw a name out there. I'm so surprised. I'm still surprised this player is not part of any plan. Baby Sana. Just gonna
yeah,
throw the name out there, right?
yeah.
Like it's a shocker. It's as if people don't watch these games. Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, like you mentioned yourself,
Yeah.
that is there. So I just feel scouting obviously is a big miss.
Hmm.
Secondly, yes, in terms of short-term goals, I think um, having camps is just become like the it thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's just become like, oh, you have camp and every problem is solved because these guys get used to each other and they'll magically start playing amazingly.
We are
It
building
doesn't,
cohesion through brute force,
yeah,
right? That's
it
what we're trying to
doesn't,
do.
yeah,
Huh.
it
We're trying to
doesn't
drill
work
it
like this.
automatism. Yeah.
You need,
Yeah.
even if you're having camps for these people, you need
Yeah.
to build their gameplay. You won't build their gameplay in just like about 25 people, right?
Hmm.
Like you mentioned, even if it's not like, don't call like 80 people at one place, but have give them matches, get them, even if it's a junior team, get them to play against senior
Yeah.
girls. It's
Yeah.
okay, it's not a big deal to play against senior girls. You learn, and we've seen
Yeah.
example of that live, like live.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
sorry.
yeah. Yeah. We've
So
seen evolution, like what happens when the when there's a considerable age gap. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
exactly. So that is another matter. And then i- obviously the long term fix is trying to get them to start young. One,
Hmm.
two, focus on skill set, uh, and teaching them the very basics of the game right from the start, rather than
Hmm.
trying to build endurance right from the start. Because
Hmm.
obviously we know for a fact that there are a few places that have put so much focus on endurance that they forget about skills. So
Hmm. And
it
those are states that are exporting players to the women's
yeah,
national team
yeah.
currently.
So overall, I mean, I think in terms of how we look at players these days, also like you were on point when you said that
Mhm.
we're literally looking at just physicality. We
Pace
don't,
and endurance.
yeah,
Pace and endurance, huh?
pace and endurance, physicality. We're
And
not
even
really,
physicality. You look at physicality. Someone like Samsun Nar, she bullied the entire backline.
yeah, yeah. I think
I mean,
honestly, she was such a delight to watch.
uh,
Even if this whole team, the under 20 team, can be made to sit in a room and
hmm.
just
You know who she reminded
watch
me of?
who.
JJ. JJ.
So, honestly, that whole under 20 team can be made to sit in one room and
Yeah, just watch like
just watch Shamshana Jr. Just watch her. The way she was, the kind of movements that she was
yeah,
making, her
yeah.
acceleration at the right time.
Mm,
Acceleration at the right time,
too good.
drawing defenders to herself and
Yeah,
clearing spaces for others. There was not enough support for her. If there was enough support for her, she would have probably done better because she was creating a lot of space for others, which was not being utilized well. So,
one person army. For sure.
so there are lots of things if if you look at it like that.
Mm,
And yeah, I mean, it was like, sorry to say if it offends people, but it was hilarious
mm,
the way they lost to Nepal. It was
mm,
hilarious. I mean, exactly how Orko started with ki we prepared for Bangladesh and Nepal came out of syllabus. Nepal
out of
knew
syllabus.
exactly what to do against India, and we were not ready for
Mm.
a team that could match
Mm.
us
Huh.
apart from Bangladesh.
I'll also give you a sequence of play that happened, right? And this really shows our football brain, right? So and the three errors against Nepal were terrible, like schoolgirl is the term, right? So before so the second came through a penalty. I think it was Kajol who
I
gave
think
the penalty. Yeah. So, but it came through Shilki error where she essentially for the fourth time in about 10 minutes she tried to clear the ball and hit a Nepal player. Right? She didn't realize it the first few times that they were boxing in on her. She didn't realize it. She went, and the fourth time she paid the price, right? Where they stole the ball, immediately they passed it off, and it was a penalty. So yes, that is it. I also just come to Sandeep. Sandeep, do you think just holding long camps? I know because Timats is also kind of mentioned this. He keeps saying camp, 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 camp. But we've had the current Nottingham Forest coach, ex in England under 17 coach, tell us, listen, the guys just met up at the airport. They came and they played. Of course, we are light years behind, which is why we have to build cohesion through brute force. I get that bit, right? But a 2 month camp is not. This is not anime. Again, like I said, I'm watching a lot of anime, but this is not Blue Lock or Awashi that magically they'll start playing
Awashi also, if anybody has seen Awashi, they play very competitive games at a very young age.
young age
Very, very competitive games. So yeah.
games. So the point is, it's not like they'll improve magically in a 2 month, right? And also, we what we are also doing is we are playing internally, so we are like, camp mein to these guys are defending so well, they're attacking so well, but we are not really testing them against exterior opposition, right? So we are also kind of lulling ourselves into a sense of, what do you say, comfort, right? So do you agree, this whole have a 2 month camp before the AFC under 20, have a 2 month camp before the Asian Cup? I just think it's an Indian football thing. It happens with the Indian under 16s also, 6 month camp throughout the year. So
I mean,
yeah,
for
go on.
the men's national team camp, I don't have a problem because they are playing generally most of the time and coming into the Asian Cup, they would have
Are
played
they?
at least
They
half the
are
season.
they are where are they playing? Because the Arrows has been
No, we are
disbanded. Where?
talking from the sense that Indian football, right? They are not playing 40 games, but they are playing, say, 20, 30 games
So
because of the
who are
Duran
they
Cup
playing?
and this and that. The men's
Who?
team, I'm saying.
The India and Acha, you're talking about the ones.
So, Stimac wanting a camp, I understand.
No, I'm talking about the ones that are not at clubs, the
Yeah,
India under
exactly.
17s and all that,
So,
which are in
that
6 months camps in Goa in that
yeah,
old
those are
ISL.
just eating into people's money, essentially eating size money
Yes,
because
yes.
you have to pay some 40, 50 lakhs over the years or something. I don't know how much they pay overall
More,
for all the
more, more,
camps.
more, more. I've
But
seen that
the
too.
idea is, I mean, I have all the data. I have to go and check it. I do have it. I wrote it for the story before. But one thing with the camp is it's like AIFF can put out a press release saying we are doing something.
Yeah.
Optics matter a lot. So they are doing something, and that's giving you hope. Oh, they are doing something, things are going to improve. But more than that, like you mentioned about the physicality part of it, I mean, we know age fraud is there. There's no two ways about it. Age fraud is
Right.
still there. So in the age group, obviously, the taller, bigger girls will be better.
Hmm.
And then once you, the problem is then there is no pathways for those left behind to
Yeah.
Hmm.
come back into the system.
In men's football, there still is
Hmm.
in because there is elite league, youth league, this
Yeah,
league,
yeah,
that league.
exactly.
In
In women's
women's
football,
football,
no, there is no
there is.
option.
So
And
age
even
football.
if someone breaks through,
Hmm.
there is always this thing that, oh, this woman played under 17 World Cup, this girl played
Yeah.
under 20 national team, so she must be better than the other person. Nobody looks at the.
That is how people are picked for IWL teams as well.
Exactly.
Ah,
Nobody looks at them playing and to think, oh, okay, maybe she is better because she is
no.
able to trap the ball without three touches. That and all, nobody cares. Everybody just goes by reputation. And you can see it in the ISL also, in the sense that the same players keep rotating within the system.
Hmm.
But the people coming from I League to ISL, how many of them have become breakout stars? You can look at Apuya as one, and that's about it, right? Apuya also barely, but barely played in the I League. Otherwise, no, you keep talking about Danish Farouk and all. How many games has he played? But the people who have come up in ISL directly continue to get chance after
Yeah, but
chance after chance
no, but
after
you
chance.
look at the laziness of the scouting, right? Even when India
Yeah,
makes an under 23 or an under 20 team, what happens is they would rather pick up the bench warmers from the ISL than pick up the guys. It is definitely a fact that there are more younger players playing in the I League, right? More 18-year-olds, more 19-year-olds, right? They would rather pick up these guys because yeah, hey, listen, it's on rep. Nobody will come after us with a stick. It's just too easy, right? And what you're saying, I pointed on the show earlier, there is a conscious rollover of Indian age group teams,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
At under 15 you're picking somebody, right? You're picking, and I'm going to say it, you're picking a 19-year-old at under 15 level over a 14-year-old, right? For you to do that the same under 20 level and say I'm going to pick this 24-year-old over this 19-year-old because they were far apart 5 years ago, it makes no sense, right?
that is our system. They keep doing the same thing.
Yeah,
And
so no, so
you, the
literally
problem is
when
you don't,
hmm,
you lose those who are actually good. They stop
yeah,
playing
Yeah.
and move on.
yeah,
Exactly.
because listen, women's football does not have any money at all, right?
Right.
In the ISL and I League and second division, right, you have the chance for maybe up to 500, 600, if you consider state leagues as well, maybe 1,000 men footballers can make money through football, right? It's not a lot of money, I'm not saying it's a lot of money, but still money, right? Where do the actually talented women footballers go? I'm going to throw this to Abby also. In my observation, right, of having covered women's football for a decade, there is a huge attrition at 17, at 16. They say, we will just shut up and study now, or
Yeah.
just try to focus on getting a job now. That is the narrative that is built at home. So age fraud is crippling Indian women's football more than it is done to men's football also. Right? There is a huge talent drain that happens due
Yeah.
to age fraud in Indian women's football. I mean,
Absolutely.
you have anything to add? What you can probably add the female gaze to it. What are the discussions in a typical girl 16, 17-year-old girl's house? They're playing football in India because I know, because you talk to so many people in that age group, so you can.
No, so it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, see, at one point in time, you have to anything that you are pursuing, right? As an activity that you're doing day in and day out. At one point in time, you'd always look at it, like the family would always also look at it and be like, do you have a future in this? Can you make a career out of this? And because obviously that is important, like how you're going to survive in the world without having a career into something and making money. So over there, the gap becomes bigger because a lot of young girls actually stop playing because they get disheartened by not due to not being picked for the teams again and again. Like the rejections again and again dishearten a lot of people because all of these people who are who fall in the correct age group um, and lose out to girls who are older than them, and they would definitely know that those girls are older than them. So it's just very disheartening. So yeah, I think that plays a big part. And then at the end of the day, yes, it's true. Even still, barring probably the your top about maybe 30 max 50 players in the women's game, nobody else makes money. Nobody. So yeah, I mean, it's a
I
big.
wanted to shift to a different subject, but before that, I just want to add one thing to this because I remember speaking to Steve Darby, who's worked with women's teams across, I think, Australia and stuff. And one of the things he said, because Abby, you mentioned about playing with older girls or senior
Hmm,
team, he would ask the girls to play against the men's team, but he
right,
would restrict the men by saying you can only do two touches or whatever, one touch or two touch. You have to play in that speed, and the girls can do however they want to play. So to sort of equalize the physical differences or the speed of the game or whatever, because you can't do the two touch that easily, right?
right,
So he has improved those players to that sense, and I think it is a viable option for us also because you look at the stories that Bembam Devi or Bala Devi say,
exactly.
they all played against boys when they were kids and then became who they are. They're probably the two of the most biggest names that ever came out of Indian football, at least in the last 10, 15, 20 years. So that's one point I wanted to add. And before we shift from this topic, Abby, I wanted to bring this to because you guys are the ones who broke the story.
Hmm.
Alex Ambrose, there has been some updates about him, court case and stuff like that. I honestly did not think this would escalate because I think the AFF has a huge reason for it not to be escalated. This is some of the rumors I've heard. But what do you make of this development that's happened now? Because I'm legitimately very surprised.
Same. I was very surprised actually to say it because honestly, it had been quite a long time, and I genuinely thought that it would fall off the radar. I mean, any which way people had almost forgotten about it. So I genuinely thought that he would fall off the radar, and there was so many rumors of him being involved with different clubs in terms of getting players and scouting and everything. So um,
He's
I
a
yes,
consultant. He's a
consultant.
consultant.
Yeah.
He's a
So
consultant.
yeah, it was surprising, but I think that's also because he breached. Like he was supposed to probably stay in like at one place, right? Like he was not supposed to go out or something, and he breached those rules. So I think it was because of that kyuki at the end of the day it was the case did go to high court, and there are a few regulations, and if you break them then you're bound to be held for that. So yeah, I mean, in that way, to be very honest, I'm glad he broke the rules and got it.
Okay, now let's move on to the ISL. Uh, I have to say this is I am not in favor of top six, but this is ending up to be a pretty interesting run to the end of the tenure. I mean, end of the season, at least the
Mm.
league stage. Orko, you've got a certain affinity to FC Goa. They really mucked it up, didn't they, yesterday?
Mm. Yeah, I think it's been coming. And as much as I hate to say it, they've been super one dimensional. Yesterday also super one dimensional. They were just lumping it up to Noah, and
Yeah.
um, people have started expecting it now. Obviously, I mean this isn't 2014 anymore. Like people are watching games. People have analysts. People have coaches like Des Buckingham traveling all around the country. So uh, and their form uh, post the World Cup has just nosedived. It's just it is not playoff form. It is not playoff form. So um, and the team had a sense of identity, which they've kind of let go also this
Yeah.
season to pursue uh, the playoff. And I mean, let's face it, football is a results business, right? But and they've played it at times, yes, but it's their Indian players need an overhaul, clearly, right? Um, and this whole rely on Spanish philosophy is also not I mean they've got Noah this year, they've got Faris this year, who are two of their better players if you look at it that way, right? They're, for example, Noah's outshone Vasquez, right? Who was supposed to be this thing, and Mark just left halfway through a season, replaced by Hernan Santana. So, and Hernan's not even starting. So, um, yeah, my point is, I think it's time to have a fresh set of ideas at the club. Think they need to really sit down, because I think this is the second year in a row they're not making the playoffs, and this has got to be a gut punch. I know ATK Monban still in the running. They might still, but I think it's done. I think they're out of the running this year.
Yeah, it
And
looked very,
Orko,
very poor.
Hmm.
sorry, I just wanted to say Orko sounds so dejected. Like he's just like, Abhi, he'll start crying.
Nay,
I
nay, nay.
I mean, to be fair, I think Noah is one of the standout players
Hmm.
of the season of
Hmm.
ISL.
Ah,
But
but
once you, there
but
is also the tendency to play to him all the time
him,
because he
yeah,
gives the
yeah,
answers.
yeah. No,
And
so he can't be successful if he's marked by two people. If he's marked out of the game, if people know this is what is going to happen. Listen, football relies on the element of unpredictability, and they become super predictable. I mean, you have an entire other
I think,
wing.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that way, it's just that there's a lot of lack of creativity, perhaps. I mean, they're not finding different channels to play. They're not trying to find ways to break the line. It's just, yeah, like you mentioned, I think one dimensional is probably the exact word.
Yeah.
you have a question, Orko, on the screen.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you rate Pena?
Uh, First season's not been great, to be very honest. Uh, Probably more pragmatic than his predecessor Ferrando, but and I know Juan's also not having a great season at ATK. But caveat is he's had a lot of injuries also. He's had a lot of revolving door of players also, right? At times they've shown glimpses, right? In that 5-2 thrashing of uh, KBFC. And personally, as a coach, I am more. I like the Ferrando philosophy. I still think he's a great coach.
Yes, I mean that is a great segue for the next club because I don't want to make Orko cry because we are going down this road where he's getting more and more upset.
No, but I mean, ठीक है, give Pena one more year, and as should Thomas Bradovich also get one
Yes,
more year.
yes. Now PB Talks has mentioned. I think Chennai, when I saw them also, they play well, but they have players who make those big mistakes at the wrong time, and a lot of the
Indians,
games have been lost like that.
they've got a good set of foreigners. I think the Indians are not just up not to a mark. Thapa's form is also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thapa's form has dropped a lot. I think that's affecting them big time.
yeah. I think they should give the coach another year
Yeah.
to see what they can do.
See, even Pena, like I said, and imagine if Simon was fired, BSC would never have made it. So I think give Pena one more year. Uh, you sense that it definitely changes, but I think at Goa there's some players who just have to, like, some positions that have to be upgraded. Honestly,
Yeah,
so yeah. So Anwar's also leaving next year.
yeah. They need
May
to figure out this. There has to be some sort of reworking in that team, at least
Yeah,
some level. Yeah.
yeah.
I I think they have kind of thought about it, no?
No,
But maybe,
they've
they've
already
given
started.
Ayush Chetri a season.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going to be a step up next year.
I think
They
Ayush
have
and
some
Brandon.
youngsters, right?
I think
Who are
Ayush and Brandon stay. I honestly, I don't think Devendra's
Nemil has not played at all this year. He's injured.
Nemil's not played at all this year.
He's injured.
Devendra's not been that effective. Uh, Sanson Xavier both are not cutting it right now. I thought Iban would start more games, but even the crucial class yesterday, Xavier started ahead of Iban. So yeah,
I
and
honestly,
Dheeraj
this
has
is a
got into
question that
comfortable.
I
Yeah,
wanted. This It's
yeah.
a question that I wanted to put to you guys actually. Like, given the development that we saw of Ivan,
Mm.
do you think it's bad strategy to not give him that same platform?
I never thought he had such a great development. To be completely honest, he is just
I
playing in the
personally,
team.
I
Yeah, he did.
personally,
I,
I personally
yeah,
think that he was good in the
yeah,
sense,
yeah.
not just in terms of work rate,
You
but
don't see
in terms
yeah,
of the timing of his runs. I think that was good.
yeah, and you don't
But
see
you
many
had someone
fullbacks.
like Ferrando doing it for him. No, he
No,
is
I'm saying
meticulous in these
you
things.
don't see a lot of fullbacks who, yeah, he's meticulous. I'm saying you also don't see a lot of fullbacks in Indian football who invert also. No, he did after Ferrando left also. When Derek was in charge, interim charge, then
But
also,
that's
I
end
mean,
of last season, right? So you basically just finished that season, Derek.
yeah, no, but still saying, I'm still saying what happened is, and I think I'll just clarify your doubt, Brishman. I think what happened is they changed the system completely, right? It became who fit to Noah. So Ivan's that skill set, the inversion maybe did not factor into this style of play. Maybe Xavier was
But
better
didn't
suited.
I think he did play in the beginning of the season,
Yeah.
and actually in the sense, like in terms of the same gameplay, he was doing pretty fine.
Hmm.
So I mean, I'm not sure why that whole change was needed, to be very honest, because I think that was doing okay, even because Noah and Iban were like slightly swapping places, also going up and down, going in, out, and all of that. Like they were combining a little. So and I think that would have improved through the season, right? Not like they would have got better over the course of the season, not bad, not worse. So I don't know. I'm just confused actually, to be very honest.
Yes, let's hope Goa can find their feet next year, or maybe even in the Super Cup.
Super
You
Cup, yeah.
never know. But the other teams, when you're looking at it, ATK Mohun Bagan, I am not at all impressed with that team. But I do not blame Juan Ferrando. Call me a simp or whatever for Ferrando, because I think he's a much better coach than he's showing. It's not a place for a coach like him to go, in my opinion. I may
No,
be
they
wrong.
wanted this. They wanted this. They wanted to play.
But
This is,
then you are tying his hands with the signings that you're making.
yeah,
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
or you give
I
him full
I
reign to
think
do whatever he
Because
wants.
I
Mr.
think
Goenka in close quarters has been saying this for years that I look at Goa and I see the way they're playing. I want my team also to play this way. I'm not kidding. This is something he's actually said. This was his main beef with Habas also, because Habas
Hmm.
was ugly
He's winning.
football, but he was getting the results. No, but like I said, Habas also, like I said, season six ISL is again very different from season 8, 9
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
ISL.
I
So
mean, it's you have to update. There is no doubt.
you
But
have to. You have to upgrade. Habas maybe did not, and that AFC Cup match, so he got badly found out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, in Indian football, what doesn't change again for one are the decision makers, right? Like we were speaking about the women's team also. What doesn't change are the decision makers. We blame everything. We blame development. We blame lack of culture. Everything. What doesn't change are the people sitting in the background, right? Are the people sitting in the background making the calls, doing the, yeah, there is a lack of skill talent. I'm just going to say it because I mean, when you pay people 20-25 grand per month, this is, I mean, to be honest, like, I mean, you cannot expect
I'll
uh,
just,
yeah,
I'll
let,
still just say what I said to Orko a few days ago, that I still feel Juan should not have moved from Goa to ATKMP.
but yeah, I agree.
Just
But I,
I just think it would have been good for both Goa and
yeah,
Juan,
but
and
think
I would
about
have
it.
loved it.
Have you ever made a job switch? Have you ever made a job switch? Have you
See,
got like,
I don't, no, no, I don't question his decision in terms of where he saw himself then, right?
Mhm,
In a lot of like
mhm,
taking a lot of different points. I
mhm,
don't question that, but I
mhm,
still think in terms of being able to have his team play the way he wanted to play,
mhm.
and just having some sort of liberty and style to go to. I think he and Goa were a good fit. I just don't
but
think
that
he
was
and
unraveling towards the end, so he just
Uh,
had to go.
no, but he was steadying the ship. He was
Yeah.
steadying the ship when he jumped.
Yeah.
suddenly.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
yeah,
anyway, we have nothing much to say about ATK Mohun, and if they don't
I mean,
qualify,
I,
that's an
I mean,
absolute.
the one thing
Uh,
I'll say, is that for the first time in a long time, it feels like ATK Mohun Bagan do not have the best set of players, or even anything close to the best set of players in the league, because they always pride themselves on having both, like good Indians, good foreigners, everybody. Uh, yes, I like Hugo, Johnny Kauko, big miss, right? I like the fact that they got Slavko, very underrated defender, like probably the defender of the league last year for me. But apart from that, very tough Ashish Rai they got. Yes. Um,
Liston they have.
Liston they have, but Liston's been
He's not
lukewarm.
done well this year, but they have. He has that X factor when he wants
Yeah,
to.
I mean, Liston like Thapa, probably will land on his feet,
Mm.
right? But for the first time in a long time, ATK like to collect crown jewels, and this is kind of what happens when they don't get good players, right? Because like I said, it seems like Mumbai have players, Hyderabad have players, all around there are three or four clubs which have quality Indian players, like even one or two. ATK just look short in that
Yeah.
department.
I think now it's just a matter. We are not going to talk about Mumbai or Hyderabad because they've qualified. Mumbai, congratulations. Amazing performances. It looked like at some point that you were going to
Yes.
go the entire season undefeated. And it just, I was there at the game when Bangalore FC defeated them. It, I mean, I've seen the turnaround in BFC, right? Like very up close and personal when that was happening. BFC has found something special, something that is working for them. I think Simon Grayson, dude, I really like him. With the interactions that we've had, he's not going to be a tactical mastermind. He's not going to change Indian football, but he's very good as a man manager, and he's a very good coach who gets things done with the team that he has. It was not clicking for him. He managed to find a way, and then he stuck on to that formation for a long time. Repeatability. He's getting great performance out of players like Rohit Kumar. Shiva's doing well. Roy's suddenly found his form again. Sunil also came off last match and scored a big goal. So now he's getting things back together. But I did feel like when I was watching the game, the Mumbai game, that Mumbai were maybe that little less hungrier than they used to be.
Mm,
Because earlier we saw them go 2 goals down and come back. You saw them concede early against Goa and absolutely smash them. Did the same to Chennai. But having won the title, maybe that unconsciously they lost that little bit of that desire, or that 1/4, 1/10 of a second they lost.
mm,
And that's all that happened in that game.
mm.
And they found it later on, but BFC defended very well to see off that game. So, congratulations to BFC for qualification. Nobody thought that they would qualify. A 7 game win on a trot is just something out of the world that nobody expected. So,
Yeah.
congratulations to them. They found something uh, that has worked. Odisha is something Gurpreet told me is that I asked him what is the change, this is happening, and then he said it's just maybe the belief,
Mm,
that faith that initially we wanted to play a certain way or whatever, and buying into the fact that not every time you need to pass right through the center back. Sometimes it's fine to put a long ball over the fullback and run onto that also, and they just somehow managed to get that faith on and did whatever they had to. Odisha has an interesting match. They won today, so it looks like they might be able to sneak in. Maybe. I
They're
think.
in. They're
Yeah, but
in.
I mean, you never know, right? Like randomly, I mean, they got the two easiest games on paper, the last two
Mm,
games, so they should be able to see it through.
mm.
It's yeah. So I
Between ATK and FC Goa for the last spot.
Yeah, and it feels like Odisha is also one of those teams, right? They had a good start, then they for a long time they were not all that good, and now they are desperate and they're winning again. Mauricio, whenever he scores, is a major difference.
Mm,
A lot of clubs didn't want him. This is very interesting. Although he scores, a lot of clubs are not keen on picking him up last year or whatever because they don't fit to the style of football and a few
mm.
things of that nature. But let's see. Hopefully, all that will happen. We have a question saying, "Do you think Chetri is still the best Indian footballer right now? If not him, why do you think it is?" Maybe to an extent he is, but maybe he isn't as well. Like talent wise, he probably is up there, but I don't think he can do 90 minutes with the same intensity as he used to. Which is not a criticism. He is 38. I think we should manage a
Yeah.
player like him much better. Like
Hmm.
we saw in that first half everything that BFC did was Chetri. He scored the goal. He ran through, and when you see it from the stadium, he's making tons of runs that nobody is looking into. That ball
Yeah.
doesn't come. He's making those runs. So for the national team, I think you need him fit and firing in the front line, and the idea has to be to hit him as often as possible because there's nobody in the national team who's going to score goals like Sunil is going to score.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have to support the team has to support Sunil as well. He's not going to run like he used to do on the left wing before. That's Sunil Chetri. I don't think we should be expecting that or asking that of him anymore. So, best Indian footballer right now, probably. Who do you say if not Sunil?
You can't say there because you say are
Because
you
he's
saying
not
best
played
Indian?
enough, also, right? Yeah.
No, I'm saying best Indian attacker, midfielder, defender, keeper. What are you saying? So I mean it's I mean this
Yeah,
is a whole new debate, the whole new
yeah,
so
yeah. We have to. I mean, it's difficult for a player like Sunil also to sit on the bench because he's not. He's got that competitive spirit all the time. He wants to play all the time. So, but he's been a great influence in the club. He's from all things. You see, he's happy when his team is scoring on the bench. He comes off the bench and does what he wants to do. And when given a chance, he scores a goal. Now we'll see next game. Simon has a headache. He has three strikers who are all in good form. And who are you going to pick? So
Yeah, and just to mention, yeah, Kumar Reddy, I do agree that Anwar was very, uh,
silly
like
mistake.
silly. Yeah, he's made a lot of silly mistakes, probably in the second half of the season, especially.
Yes, absolutely. Now
team
that
takes it to
ISL,
individuals take it. Yeah, go on.
yeah. Now that ISL talk is over a little bit, let's just talk about I League a little bit before we end it. I wanted to keep it under an hour. I don't think that is possible, but maybe we can just go a shade over an hour. I League ending, two teams, Srinidhi, Round Glass right up there, both fighting for the title and the promotion. So it looks like we are coming to the end of the I League as well.
Hmm.
Another fantastic season that again nobody is watching.
I mean, what can you do? It's odd times, odd, uh, yeah, what do you say, modes of distribution. Only fanatics like us watch. Very, very, very few people watching. Very few people. Uh, I don't know. It's just. I mean, almost no peep about the season only.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't end it. Does say something more.
And what do I say? I've been watching it. Yeah, so there was off the mark finally. Like they have some 8 9 points, but like I said, might have come
Nine.
too little, too late. Um, uh, Kenkre look like they might get relegated as well. They've actually, with I mean, these two are clearly the lowest budget teams in the division, so they're making the most of what they have. Um, I really want
What do you have to say about Mohammedan?
Mohammedan though. Mohammedan,
Mohammedan and Gokulam has been really disappointing this year.
No, Mohammedan recruited badly. Mohammedan
Yeah,
recruited badly. They paid the price for it, and and no wonder. I mean, the two places where recruitments happened decently are the two ones, are the two ones at the top.
Yeah, I
Wait, it
mean,
comes down to
Gokulam
that.
has had three managers. Like they've had a horror season this year, and you would think they were the ones who would probably be up there to challenge for the title because of the run that they've been on.
They've
But
lost some
it's
players
been
to the
bad.
ISL. Yes, they've lost some players to the ISL. But then again,
Hey,
I see
all I League clubs lose players. I mean, you can't.
there has to be some rationale of why and who. What do you say? Who you're getting in their place also. I
Well,
mean,
I actually did a podcast with Round Glass owner, and I haven't put it out yet. I forgot, but I have to put it out. But it's just I've been really busy. Sorry,
this is
I'm not.
Sunny Singh.
Yeah, And I kept asking him about ISL, like if you get into the ISL, what are your plans? I didn't really get a clear answer. He said we will do what we have to do when we get there. I don't know if he was managing expectations, but I asked it two, three times. I'll put the podcast out and you can see. And I was wondering why he was not more forceful when it comes, because Roundglass really wanted to get into the ISL, from what I
Hmm.
understand.
Hmm.
So, and there is a podcast coming with David Castaneda also from Srinidhi.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I just recorded it yesterday. I'll put it
great
out.
player. Great, like I said,
He should be in the ISL, looking for an ISL move or get Srinidhi into ISL and play.
what we've seen is that the 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 foreigner quality. The thing about ISL is that right now, uh,
Love it, Joshua. Love it.
Yeah, man. I've been really busy. Put it-
Sandy, fire yourself. Yes,
Oh, you've just seen it.
yeah, I just saw it. Yeah,
I'll put it out. I'll put it out.
yeah,
Monday, Tuesday, it will come.
yeah.
Castaneda first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Castaneda first, I think the difference in quality of the foreigners between the ISL and the I League is also pretty high. We've seen people like, I think his name was Nelson, try to move from Chennai City to Hyderabad also. So, not a lot of people have made the jump, not a lot of foreigners have made the jump up successfully. What happens is the Ulta case. A lot of ISL ex foreigners then go on to play
Yeah.
I League. So, uh, this movement
And what
is
often happens in I League is that they sort of buy someone who has a lot of hype. Like what happened with Chencho, right? Chencho was good at playing in a certain way,
hmm,
and you bring him to a team where he can't play in that manner. So basically, he's lost in that. Maybe his level is also more I League level than
I
ISL
League
level.
only.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But
I,
I'm
I,
sure those Nestor and maybe who was that Chennaiyan striker dude who scored from the half line?
Manji.
He could have probably would have made the transition as well, I think.
Difficult. Nestor though didn't though. Nestor didn't though.
I did, but he didn't even play properly. They had their whole thing in the background. You signed him, I signed him. We both signed him two contracts. Yeah, there is Kumar Reddy asking about Isol, man. Lowest budget and your take on Isol. We love Isol. That's generally our take. But Orko, I think, can expand on it a little more.
I think Izol again, like I said, I mean, I keep saying it, and my friends in Izol be pissed, but uh, they're not playing up to the potential. They always have a Indian contingent that is a very good Indian contingent,
yeah.
even better than Nero Cantrao. And this, I mean, they always keep hiring coaches. I mean, I always scratch my head as to how
Stanley left in the middle, right? He
yeah, Stanley
was
also left. Now it's Ketano Pino. I mean, just saying, like, I mean, uh, that club needs one good coach, and they will be somewhere up there for sure. Because, like I said, now uh, I mean, yes, they can't hire a Castellana level foreigner or a Faisal Shaiste type foreigner, yes. But they can definitely, what do you say, the Indian contingent there is really good. There's no doubt about it. Even
Yeah.
this year also, there are a couple of players who've really, and remember, Ayush Dev Chetri came from there and
Mm,
he's slotted in seamlessly at FC Goa, right?
yeah.
People told me, listen, this guy might take a year, but we didn't take it. He just slot in, right? Ayush Dev Chetri, by the way, is a Mizo. You should
yeah,
guys
yeah.
should know this. Yeah, he's half Mizo. He's half Mizo. So this year also there's Tharpuya, there's Lalchani Masailo, like very good players for the I League, right? But again, I mean, I'm so disappointed in how they're made to play because we know I've seen the MPL. Like I said, I don't go by hype. I've actually been on the ground, watched the MPL. There are fantastic players there. Izol pretty much get the best players also because they're Izol, because they're yeah. Previously those players had to go to Shillong to make the transition nationally. But I'm so disappointed in the way that that one appointment they make every year, the coach, and like it's
Who
hmm,
who is this Belgium to India player that people are talking about in
some
the?
I don't know. I've seen so many cases
No,
like
no.
this.
He's going to give up his Belgian citizenship to play in India. or play for India rather.
Good, good.
Wow.
I mean, what can I say? I mean, I've seen so many cases like this.
I
I
get
mean,
that, but that reaction was hilarious. Like, good, okay.
good. No, I'm saying, let him come, let him play a season, right? I don't. Yes, we heard about that. I saw some YouTuber had made a podcast. I saw it, right? But
No,
like
I
I said,
didn't see this. This is
I
legit,
mean,
isn't it?
no, I'm not. I mean, I didn't see the podcast. I saw the posts, right?
Ah,
Some guy called Triman. But let him come, let him play here, right? It's a kind of unfair that you don't start talking about ISL, we're talking about and appreciating what the league winners have done. Uh,
Mumbai
sorry,
has done amazing. We
yeah,
love Des
we are
Buckingham.
all Des fans. Sorry, we are all Des fans here. There's no,
Sorry.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
big Des
yeah,
There
fans
is no doubt. I mean, if you want to
in
talk about what
every which
Mumbai
way.
has done,
yeah.
now that let's just end on a very nice note about Mumbai and what they have achieved then.
Hmm.
But finish your point about Reman, then we'll switch to that.
No, I'm saying, I mean, let him play a season. Let's not talk about him. Let's not hype him up immediately. Let him play a season. Let's see what he's about. Let him surrender his passport first. कुछ तो हो जाए. Like I'm saying, I mean, you want me to comment on the trailer? The whole movie's left now. Wait for it, huh?
Yes. So now the Vapes, I like your name actually. So we're talking about Mumbai, right? We've often talked about it, so we didn't want to exaggerate. But I'm sure we'll talk about them more once they actually get the shield next week. But
Hmm.
there is no doubt, and anybody who says that they have the most amount of money and that is why they won, go watch all the players before they move to Mumbai. So you didn't know Sanjeev Stalin existed in Kerala Blasters. You didn't. Changte was missing all the chances that he got. Bipin
Right.
became who he is here. Apuya, fair enough, he had a very good season before, but he's also kicked on. He scored more goals this season. I think it's 3 goals.
Yeah.
You have the two young attackers. Everybody's hyping him up. I'm waiting to give them more chance to play. I haven't seen them enough before
Who?
saying this.
Hmm.
Gurkirat and
Hey,
this
he
one.
gets a 150 minutes in the ISL this season.
Exactly. I have a lot of
Yeah.
people, as well, I said, hyping him up. I want to see them play because I feel like Des can develop them as well. The you see Vignesh Dakshinamurthy, I saw him here as a
Exactly.
left winger. He's playing as a left back most of the time now. So a lot of these players have improved. If you look at someone like who's that Noguera, right? Noguera
Yeah.
playing less minutes this season has more goals and assists than he did playing all of last season. Now you can say whatever you want to say. Des has done a phenomenal job in improving those players. They have to go 18 games unbeaten is unbelievable. And this team never looked like to me like one of those teams who are unbeatable, right? They not always they often concede, they often go behind, and they often have those hiccups. But they have a fantastic attitude because they keep coming back and they keep winning. Of course, they have Greg Stewart and
Hmm.
Pereira Diaz and Jahu and all the rest of it. That's all true, but they have a great character also,
I
which I think.
I just think overall the unit is functioning at a fantastic, like it's,
Purva came out of nowhere, like
yeah,
to
exactly.
cement his place.
I
Actually, I
It's
met
just
Des.
a very well oiled
Hmm.
team.
I met Des last when he came here for the match day just to have a chat,
Hmm.
and I mentioned the same thing to him. Like you have Purba who, and one thing I really liked is they bought Nawaz for a lot of money.
Hmm.
The easiest thing for a coach to do would have been to say, "Oh, they spent so much money on him. He is our number one." He
It's
will
happening at a few ISL clubs. It's
exactly. That's what I
happening at a
told
few
him.
ISL
There are
clubs.
few clubs that is happening, but the other one is Vukmanovic.
Hmm.
He is another one who has gone in there and not really looked at the amount of money that some players have been
You'd be
paid.
surprised as to which players have got lesser minutes this year, like at Kerala
Yeah.
Blasters. Very
So
surprising. Very
there are some coaches who are doing the right thing, and I told him it's a great move that what you've done. And look, Purba, like you said, Purba came out of nowhere. He was a secondary to Amrinder. He was
He
supposed to
was
be
at
secondary.
Shillong Lajong. I mean, back when we used to,
Yeah, yeah, of course. But he
like,
not only did he break into the team, he was the first choice in the Champions League. He is completely shut off Akbar Nawaz. I mean, sorry, Akbar Nawaz is completely shut off
Mohammed
Nawaz
Mohammed Nabi.
for the goalkeeping role now. And I think at some point he should get a look in for the national team. Not saying that
Yeah,
he is going to
Yeah,
starting one, but he should get a look in, a call up, and
yeah.
maybe time in the camp because
But
you have so
yeah,
much time with the camp, right? So. go ahead and do that as well.
Yeah, and so now somebody's taken offense saying didn't touch KBFC. Guys, we're really sorry, right? We can't cover everybody in this
But
नहीं
news
तो
channel.
I
मुंबई पे
have to
खत्म
say one thing,
करेंगे.
right?
Huh.
I am writing a feature on Ivan Vukumanovic, which I think is going to be a very interesting one because of not because of me, because of how he speaks and the way he is and the reaction that he gets from the fans. It's fantastic. I really admire him as a coach. He's done a fantastic job with that team, and yeah, I hope they do well, man.
Yeah.
For him,
Yeah,
please speak.
and like I said, football is a good note to end on because he is from Shillong Lajong and they are back. One of again one of our favorite, and at least one of my favorite. In this is Indian football heritage.
Yeah.
2007, at least 16 years, good time to be in Indian football. Right, we've seen clubs come and shut down. Right,
So
but
many,
huh?
Too
so
many.
many.
So many, exactly.
Yeah,
But Shillong Lajong making their way back, playing the second division qualifiers. That is the qualifiers to get into a second division main round and making it. It's a it's great news. It's great news. Uh, I spent the ISL winning season. I actually split my time covering Lajong and ISL. I have very fond memories of that season, and fantastic place to go watch some football, guys. If you ever want to just do some football tourism in India, Shillong and ISL are probably up there,
yeah.
right?
I would put Manipur also. I really liked it, but I
Huh,
think the football wise, the style of football wise, Mizoram is more pleasing.
huh.
I would think, yeah,
But so,
it's
like I said, Shillong Lajong is back. Thank you, Mr. Ming, for bringing your club back. I don't know how many times I've told him. I don't know how many times I've told him I miss the club. But yes, it's always good when a familiar name comes back. But also means that now I have a conundrum on who to support because there's Dempo and there's Shillong Lajong, right?
Also, come loyalties, bro, loyalties.
डेम्पो डेम्पो बचपन से डेम्पो always.
So
uh,
conundrum कहाँ से आया फिर?
but Shillong Lajong is Shillong Lajong,
he'll
right?
be wearing that one jersey, and then take off the jersey. He'll show the other
Another
jersey.
one.
हम भी जीत गए.
But I really look forward to hearing Sarong Kaya Lajong, our own Lajong again. And yeah, I League in Shillong. Let's bring it on. Let's hope get to watch more matches
Let's
at Polo
travel
Ground.
for it.
Polo Ground, yeah. So
Let's
that's a good
travel
note
for
to
it.
end.
Absolutely. So
And don't
we are.
forget downtown heroes also from Jammu and Kashmir have also gotten, right.
Yes.
So
So let's wrap up on this last. I
yeah,
when your ISL final most likely might be Mumbai. That's what I hear. But the Goa and
Hmm.
Bangalore and a couple of other Kerala's
yeah.
also in conversation. But I think it is most likely to be in Mumbai. Let's see. There's no guarantee. Second division starting is
Ambedkar,
supposed to be in March. We'll see when it starts. So,
Ambedkar,
because
Ambedkar is gonna find it.
the Stafford Challenge Cup, which is starting on the 23rd, ends, and then the teams are supposed to move right into into the second division. That's what I was told. But you never know with Indian football calendar. Yes, our was split loyalty, split personality, all sort of splits he has. So
How?
No, I don't have any
Joshua,
split
I
loyalty.
really want to understand why you've called him split
No, no,
personality.
I don't
Please
have any split
explain.
loyalty. I don't have any split loyalty. Dempo only, bachpan se. But huh.
see, all this started because you said you had split loyalty.
Conundrum.
We did not say anything.
Okay.
You only said it. Okay.
I just have too much love for Indian football, guys. That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Raghav GS. I
On
think
that
this is
bombshell,
Raghav Sastri. Huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi,
On the
Raghav.
bomb, I think we should just
yes,
finish this
we should
episode on
finish
that
on this
bomb
right
note.
on the bombshell that Orko has
Yeah.
split personality and his personality supports different clubs. That's
No, no, they'll come catch me tomorrow. Hmm.
yeah, okay. Thank you guys for listening.
Okay.
And yeah, uh, just do all the right things. No, subscribe and what else do you do?
Yeah.
Share and like and all this.
Like, share, subscribe. Come on,
Yes.
Sandeep.
Thank you. I'm really hungry now, so I won't go as well. So thank you guys. Do all the good things that Abby just mentioned, and we'll come back with a new episode. I promise I'll put Casiniega first, and then we'll do the other episodes as well. And yeah, whatever interviews are done, the next 2 weeks should be coming. I think Roy Krishna one interview would come, and Ivan Rukmanovic one interview will also come. So yes, we'll look out for that as well. So thank you so much. Good night, and enjoy the game.